Okay, please welcome Joanne. She's our former West Maui council member, Ellie's immediate predecessor and a great friend to West Maui. Okay, there we have a disciplinarian back there. Thank you so much. Okay, Joanne, wait. I understand there's a big announcement here.
Oh,
Give her a big hand. I think there's a big announcement.
It's Joanne Johnson Weiner. I got married. So, and my husband, if you could please stand up, Larry. Yeah. I've known Larry for 35 years, so, don't let anybody tell you that, life gets over at age 60 plus. It's just beginning. But I want to thank all of you for coming tonight. I really appreciate the turnout at these events. As you know, I am the new Director of Transportation, and no, transportation doesn't have anything to do with our roadways. The only thing that I'm in charge of is the Maui bus. I'm in charge of the contract for the air ambulance and overseeing the grants for Maui Economic Opportunity. So those are the only things. It's still our Public Works Department that is in charge of our roadways and any kind of roadway repairs. I know that because the State Department of Transportation came this evening, they gave you some information, but people write in the paper all the time about, call the Maui Department of Transportation. If you have questions about buses, I'm the girl to call. But I want to thank those of you. I brought some schedules this evening. We made some modifications, particularly on the Kihei route because we were running behind. Some of it was due to the flooding, but also a great deal of it was due to the fact that our bus is so popular that we were stopping at every stop. And with coming through Ma'alaya, what was happening is we were running sometimes as much as a half an hour late, and sometimes due to the weather, we're running over an hour late. But that problem, thanks to a really great guy in my department, Darren Kono, he actually worked several different routes, and he was able to bring that route back in on schedule. I'm very, very pleased to have the opportunity to still stay in government and make a difference. I really appreciate those of you that do support the Maui bus. As you know, the cost of gasoline, as you've all been looking at the pumps, it is headed to levels that we have not yet seen here on Maui. On the mainland, gas is already in some sections of the country at $4.30, $4.50 a gallon, and that's for regular gasoline. So we're already headed up there. With that, I anticipate ridership will increase on the Maui bus, as well as transportation on the MEO programs that they provide. We did cut back some of the funding for the routes last year from Maui Economic Opportunity, but if you really want to see some of the services restored for those particular components, I urge you, when the county council comes out with a budget, if those are things that are important to you, please exercise your voice here in the community and ask for the things that you want to see. We have bus stops in progress. For those of you at Kamanu Center who traverse through that area, we have a hub there, and we are making improvements on land that we have leased from Kamanu Center. So we are in the process of doing that project. We also have a total of 8 other projects that we will be working on. And so hopefully we will complete those bus stops. Many of them will have covers. We tried to spread them throughout the county. So you'll be seeing improvements in the area of the bus stops and benches, particularly in covered areas. So I can't wait till those first benches, and the covered areas start being completed. So you'll see that happening. We're hoping to hold the line. We may have to go up as Mayor already announced, our costs are going up for operations. You cannot, just as MEO, just as your own personal car and our Maui buses, unfortunately they don't run on water. So we may have to, we're gonna try to keep the rates as reasonable as we possibly can, because when we did increase rates once before, and I think we instituted a fare of $1 where some of the routes were previously no charge, those routes did experience a decline in ridership. So we expect some adjustment on ridership when that takes place, if it takes place. So we're hoping we can get through on the budget. And every time you put gas in your car, you help to fund the highway fund, which basically helps both your roadway projects as well as helping the Maui bus operations. So keep in mind that unfortunately when you want to reduce usage of gasoline because the prices are going up, that's when our funds start going down. So it just seems counterintuitive that that's happening, but unfortunately this is the way that it works. So if you have any questions, if you have any needs, we have our paratransit system in operation, and we are going forward. I believe it's on March 15th for a budget amendment. Paratransit has been such a popular service that many of our disabled and our seniors who cannot get to the bus stops, many of them are able to avail themselves of this particular service. So it's really critical, because as an aging senior or as a person who suffers from disability, many of the comments that I get are that that is the people's lifeline to the services and to shopping and to being regular participants in society. So I don't want to take up a lot of time. If you have questions, I have the same open door policy that the mayor does. You call me. Sometimes I may not be able to answer all your questions, but I'm very proud of the work that is being done by this administration, and I also thank you for your support of all of the services that we're offering and for being bus riders. Because without you, we wouldn't have the 2 million plus transportation riders that we have on our system. And that's how, it's not necessarily indicative of you know, all the people that are living here on the island, because 60% of our riders are the visitors. And we're glad to see them, because I can remember the days when it used to back up on the Poly in the afternoon for all the way to Ma'alaya sometimes. So now I really would like to say that I think the Maui bus has played an integral role in helping to reduce some of that traffic. And if we can get people out of their cars and using the public transportation system, it really means a lot to all of our quality of life. So thank you so much to West Maui taxpayers, and thank you for, Don, all your work, and for the people that helps to sponsor these events. Aloha.
Congratulations and thank you. Do you have any questions for our transportation director? Wait, we have one. You may have heard the other one, but you told her where to go.
How come in Kihei there's bus stops on every block from North Kihei all the way down to Wailea, whereas you don't have it here in Lahaina?
Yeah, the question that was asked was, how come in Kihei you have bus stops at much more frequent intervals than you do here in West Maui? It's basically where the demand has been. What we've done in, I guess, designing many of the bus stops or the bus, corners, it's the ridership. So some of that is driven by the ridership. Some of it is also driven by where we have property and where we don't have property. And if you look at West Maui, we're a little bit more spread out. Our routes actually, when they were first designed, we haven't had the capability to do a lot of route expansion because it all costs money. So that's one of the areas. But if you have stops and if we can secure the property, as to where you want to stop. It can't be just based on a call or two. It has to be, if there's petitions, those are effective ways to get stops where there currently are not. But the ridership in Kihei, I think that leg of of our route developed much more quickly. And so when those routes were designed, that's where actually some of our double-decker bus is going to go there too. But it's frequency. So, but you can call our office and I can actually put you in touch with Darren Kono, who will also be able to answer some of the questions, probably much more adeptly than myself. But thanks so much for the question, and thanks for coming.